Most people don't like being by themselves. They can't stand their own company. They can't stand their own thoughts and their own solitude. And, most people are like that. Personally, I spend about probably 80% of the time by myself. That's the way I like it. I don't get lonely. I don't get depressed or anything. And there's some people like that, loners, natural loners that enjoy, being by themselves. But unfortunately, the majority of people, if they're by themselves for any length of time, they will start getting depressed. They start hearing their own thoughts and don't like what they're thinking. They start feeling anxiety. And this happens really, really quick to a lot of people. And they will go and allow themselves to get involved with, the wrong people to fill that void because they are lonely. They don't want to be by themselves. They don't want to listen to their own thoughts. They want to have all the talking. They want to have someone to bounce topics off of. They want to have the bickering, the arguing, the screaming, and the fighting, and the chaos that other people usually bring to your life. Most people can't stand to be by themselves at all. I mean, it is, to me, it's strange. But like I said, I have a different personality than a lot of people do. I'm more of a loner. It doesn't bother me at all. I like being by myself. I like doing what I want to do when I want to do it. I like the quietness. I like the peace. And, if the right person, the right woman came along, then I will consider letting someone in my life like that. Now, I have friends, people I talk to and things, but the vast majority of the time I spend by myself. But the reason people get involved in bad relationships, they get involved in bad friendships, in bad marriages a lot of times, is because they're afraid to be by themselves. And they will allow the wrong person, the wrong people into their lives simply because they don't want to be alone. They want to have people around. They want to have conversation. And I understand that because, humans are, a social creature for the most part. But you have to learn how to live in your own skin. You have to learn how to be happy and content alone and in your own solitude. Because if you don't, you will let people in your life, friends, relationships, they will come into your life, and you will allow anyone into your life, even though they bring just chaos and bring misery, when you could have been by yourself and been a lot happier. But people will allow others in their lives that aren't conducive to a happy life, unfortunately. You will go out on several dates, for example. Say you got single. You'll go out on several dates. Nothing clicks. Nothing happens, or no connection. But after a few dates, you'll realize, you'll start thinking that maybe I'm not going to find anyone. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I have to just allow someone into my life, even though there's no connection, there's no spark, there's no click, together. I want to allow someone into my life and hope that it happens. So you'll go on another couple of dates, and you'll find someone that you think might work, and you'll allow them into your life. You'll allow them to come in, start a relationship, and it's their own person. And that's how people end up with, dating drug addicts, dating people that's unemployed, dating women that has 4 or 5 kids for different daddies, dating, if you're a woman, dating a man that is abusive, maybe you're a woman that's abusive, back and forth, whatever. You get the point. You allow people into your lives. You allow people into your life that shouldn't ought to be there. That will just bring misery and chaos. And people do that because they're afraid to be alone. They're afraid to be by themselves. They're also afraid of what the community will say. If you live in a small town and you've been single for, a long time, people will talk very quickly. I mean, if it's in months, they'll start talking. The guy that lives by himself, the guy that isn't married, the guy that's 40, 50 years old that isn't married. And they will start talking. Maybe he's gay. Maybe he's this. Maybe he's that. Because people like to gossip. And people don't want that gossip going on behind their back. So they will find anybody to get with. And they'll have a relationship. They'll get married. Because they don't want people talking about them. Because they don't want to be, the conversation of the community. Even if they're not, people think it in their brain. They see other people talking about them, and they think other people are talking about them when maybe they aren't. So they will allow people into their life because they want to fill that void. Don't do that. You want to learn how to be comfortable by yourself. Be comfortable alone. It's not that bad. I've been, like I said, 80% of the time, I'm by myself, and I enjoy it. I do what I want to do, go where I want to go, get up when I want to get up, go to bed when I want to go to bed, watch what I want to watch on TV, take a trip to where I want to go to. I don't have to wait on anybody else to get ready. Don't have to bother being aggravated with someone else. If I'm not saying that I wouldn't have a relationship, with a woman, if it's the right woman. However, me being comfortable in my own skin and being comfortable in my own thoughts and in my own solitude, I can weed out people that won't be a benefit to my life. People just bring me down, people that will just bring chaos and misery and more anxiety and depression and things, you don't want that. And I can be by myself, like I said. And I'm not going to allow just anyone to come into my life. I'm not going to allow anyone to come into my life just to fill that void, to have that person in my life to fill that quietness. Because if you do that, you'll definitely get the wrong relationship, you have the wrong friendships, everything. And that's why people end up in loveless marriages, loveless relationships. And some people, they get married and have kids just for that reason, because they think society tells them to. So they think they're bound and obligated to do that. Plus, they don't want to be alone. They want to have people around. Even if it brings chaos, if it brings bickering, if it brings financial strain, they want to have people around. They want to have a relationship. They want to have friends around all the time, hanging out at their house. And it's simply because they're not comfortable. They're not comfortable in their own solitude. You have to learn how to be happy alone. And when you can do that, you can be happy alone. You're not out here looking for just anyone to fill that void. That space in your house or that space in your bed. You're not looking for that at all. If you are looking, you go on dates, you're more picky. You have your standards set a little higher, because you don't have to have anyone. You can support yourself. You can be alone. You can go to the movies by yourself, go to the park and walk, do whatever you want to do by yourself. You don't need anyone. But if you get into the mindset that you're depressed, you have to find someone now because you're getting old, and your time is about up, you have to get in a relationship. You will allow anyone into your life. You may allow a monster, into your life. You may allow someone that'll end up having you put in prison. It happens. It happens quite often, actually. And that's why people get in the wrong relationships, because they want to fill that void. They can't be by themselves. They can't be alone. And the truck is shaking right now, guys. You feel it shaking. Or I can feel it shaking. You might see it in the camera shaking. But anyway, get to the point in your life that you don't need anyone. It doesn't mean you won't allow anyone into your life, but you need to be to the point in your life that you don't need anyone in your life. That you are perfectly okay and comfortable being by yourself. You're perfectly okay and comfortable doing things by yourself, doing whatever by yourself. You don't need anyone else. And then when someone comes along that isn't going to be a benefit in your life at all, you'll realize this, and you won't allow that person, into your life. You'll push that person away and say, "No, I don't need that," and it won't bother you. But if you can't do that, someone comes along, even though it's the wrong person, you get that, that gut feeling that this isn't what I really need. But you'll bring that person into your life in a relationship or a friendship or whatever, knowing that they're not the right person. But you'll do it anyway just to have someone to talk to have someone to fill that quietness, to fill that void. And that is a horrible way to live life, because you can be taken advantage of, because you'll let people take advantage of you. You'll loan money to people and things like that won't pay you back, because you want to be friends. You want to be a social butterfly. If you look at most everything and everyone in history, most problems has came from other people being in your life. Divorces and things like that. Horrible friendships. People who are criminals, for example, and they will do something and they'll have this friend they're supposed to have, and they get caught, and the so-called friend will spill their guts, not really a friend, not really a benefit. All you better off done it by yourself. I'm not saying to be a criminal, I'm using that for example. You got to learn how to be comfortable in your own skin. Train passing by. And they're not worried about what people think. They're not worried about trying to get in a relationship, trying to get in a marriage, trying to get into friendships and things. It's good to have a friend. It's good to be married, good to be in a relationship if it's the right person. But if you are afraid to be alone, afraid to be by yourself, afraid to be in your own thoughts and your own solitude, you will allow the wrong people into your life. You have to learn how to be comfortable with you. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.